It's time for the Lowco Sports Lowdown. Here are your hosts, Justin Jarrett, Wes Kerr, and Max Araj.
Hey, Lowco sports fans, Justin Jarrett along with Max Araj and Marcus Walsh keeping the seat warm for Wes Kerr, who's coming in here shortly if all goes well. Having a sneezing attack, which who among us has not been the victim of a poorly timed sneeze attack, right?
Oh, yeah.
So we'll have Wes in here shortly. We'll talk a lot of football tonight because we have playoff games on tap tomorrow night, but we'll also get you caught up on what else is happening around the Lowco, which is not a whole lot. We have a few basketball games going on here and there. There was a scrimmage over at my place tonight, but I had to zonk out for a bit after wrestling practice if I wanted to stay awake for this. So didn't get to see Buford against Hardyville, but I look forward to the report tomorrow during school. But how you boys doing? You boys all right?
Rocking and rolling, man. It's been a busy week. Speaking of basketball, I guess I can just tease this that we are working to finalize our basketball schedule for season. So it'll be January and February, and we've got dates locked down. We just got to talk with the bosses and make sure that it can, and certainly our crew, and make sure that it can work out for everybody. But I was talking to some folks at the station yesterday. I said, you got to schedule down. I'll make it work.
Yeah.
Really starting to get going. I reviewed some information that you guys have had the last few days in terms of basketball just getting rolling already.
Yeah.
And it's going to be really interesting. We've got some great rivalries coming up. Kevin's going to be joining me, so I'll get him caught up to speed on what's going on as far as what Jeremy and I talked about yesterday. But I love basketball, and I've been asked so much this year alone, what do I like doing better, football or basketball? And I'll even throw baseball in there since I did, with Kevin, we did about 40 hours of baseball back in July. And the answer to that question is what do I like better, baseball, basketball, or football doing play-by-play? The answer simply is yes.
Yeah,
I love them all.
Yeah.
Yes.
Whichever one I'm doing today.
And when I was, calling hockey in college, yes. Did I know what I was doing in college? Not really, but yes, of course. I love it.
Amen. Whatever it is, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So that's right. So looking forward to that already, ironing out a few things, crossing some T's and dotting some I's, but we'll have it for you here in just a matter of weeks. We'll probably end up doing, the best of the bowls, I would think, for football once the football season ends entirely before Christmas. So I'll be on Talk of the Town talking football in the next couple of weeks as well on WHHI. So just because I'm not going to games over the next couple of weeks doesn't mean that I don't have my eyes and ears plugged into what's going on, of course. And a big part of that is joining you guys every week, too.
Yeah. Yeah. You're always hitting me up like, hey, I'm catching up on the last couple of days. What's going on? I'm glad that we can provide a lifeline to all that information, because for a while there it got hard to know what was going on around here.
Yeah.
So we appreciate that. Marcus always matches the kid level of excitement. Yeah, you guys. I thought I brought energy level to everything, but you guys make me look positively old and slow at this point. But
Nah,
you guys take it to a new level.
you do more than us too. You do more than us too. You're freaking teaching at school, doing wrestling,
following your kids around.
Okay, fair enough.
Coaching them. Yeah,
but I can't bring the same energy to a broadcast that you two can. You two take it to another
level.
level.
That's because we don't do it as much as you.
Yeah. But no, we got a little bit of hoops going on. Cross girls are off to a 2-0 start. They beat Hilton Head Christian, which is not your typical Hilton Head Christian. They're down this year. They beat Hilton Head Prep handily. They pretty well shut down Courtney's offense, which is not easy to do. So they look good. They look like they're gonna run pretty strong through Skiza 2A this year, up a class from last year. Hilton Head Christian boys, they beat up on Cross, but then they lost to Coastal Homeschool, so it's kind of hard to know what that means. I mean, they're going to be young and
Yeah.
inexperienced for sure.
Coastal, I will
They're a
say,
little they're a little height challenge. Yeah, you never know what they have. That's what I meant by
Yeah.
that. Is you never know
every
what they're
few
going to look
years
like.
or so, every few years, Coastal brings out a solid team. So you never know with them. But I would agree with you. I think it's a very young Christian Academy team this
Very
year
young.
for the men's. Same with the women's team too. I would think because
Yeah.
they're not the most experienced team.
No.
So it's going to be some young and tribulating seasons for both the men's and women's basketball teams at Hillnet Christian Academy. I wouldn't expect much out of either two teams, being that they're both playing at the 4A level this year. So that's interesting.
Prep boys, of course, looked very good
Yes,
in their debut against Cross. Again, it was
What?
against Cross, which is
It's not very
an
shocking.
inexperienced,
I mean, it really isn't.
inexperienced program, but we know they're going to be good. The Harpering kid is the real deal.
He's
Ty
really
Harpering.
good.
Yeah, he's the real deal. So they're going to be fun to watch again because that system is just mechanical. It's so good. They run it so well. So it's gonna be cool. But we got some hoops going on. More coming this weekend. We've got the Earl Campbell preseason tournament at Whale Branch starting on Saturday. And
Yeah,
we'll
that's
have,
what you
let's
said the other
see.
day, I think, right?
Do we know the teams?
Yeah, it starts on Saturday. Girls games on Saturday. You got Battery Creek against Bridges Prep and Patrick Henry against Beaufort. Hampton against May River. I don't know if that's part of the tournament or not. I think it is though. I think the girls is. And then on the boys side, Saturday you got Bridges Prep against Royal Live Oaks, Patrick Henry against Whale Branch. And then Monday it goes into like a bracket format for the girls. Like the losers of the first games. But there's games at 4, 5:30, and 7. And then boys, you got Patrick Henry Bridges Prep and Royal Live Oaks Whale Branch on Monday. And then Tuesday night, I think we got some kind of a championship game for the boys, and the girls, I don't know. There's a bunch of games going on Saturday, Monday, Tuesday. I can never figure out if there's really a bracket per se. But there's something going on there. There's a bunch of games. So, and it's all our teams. So that's the cool thing about that. We also on Saturday have a wrestling tournament at Bridges Prep, and basketball is less than wrestling for Alex Hagan. We got a wrestling tournament over at Bridges Prep on Saturday starting 9 a.m. Got 16 teams coming, preseason tournament. A lot of local teams. Hilton Head's in there. Hardyville's in there. I'm not sure. Bluffton's in there. I don't know. Thomas Hayward, I think. JP2. So there's a bunch of the smaller schools in particular, but a couple of the bigger ones too. Just a great chance for kids to get a couple matches. There'll be JV and varsity brackets in each weight. So they'll just get a bunch of kids, bunch of matches and experience, and we'll be off and running for wrestling season.
Where was real quick, where was the basketball tournament?
Whale Branch.
This weekend? Whale Branch. That's I heard you say that.
We also have the cross country state meets for South Carolina High School League as
well.
That should be very interesting. We have a lot of runners from around the entire Lowco sports area that will be competing at the state meet, which I don't know where that is this year.
Newberry.
Is it Newberry? Okay.
Yep, at the farm.
Cool.
This cat is driving me nuts, y'all.
Who is it, Lilo or Stitch?
Stitch, always Stitch. Lilo's too lazy to beg for pets. Stitch is all on it. He's Johnny on the spot, just patrolling.
Yeah, that's Stitch for you.
He's a mess. You want to be on the show, buddy? Look at him. There he is.
Oh,
yeah.
Who's a good boy?
He didn't like that. He did not like that. You can't hold me.
Dad, put me down.
You can't hold me. Yeah, shots on camera. Great for
our girls don't like it either.
I was just waiting for the cat to take a whack at you, man.
He's like,
yeah. Oh, it's so funny.
Oh Lord. All right. Yeah, wrestling is great. I can't wait for wrestling. We got our boys registered, Hagen. The Hardyville boys are registered. I think we got about 8 about 8 or 9 in there.
There we go.
Yeah, somewhere to start. Somewhere to start. We might have some in the JV too. I didn't check that. Oh yeah, we got a couple in the JV too. All right, good deal.
Sweet.
Yeah, we're coming along, man. We're
Good stuff.
getting more kids out there every day. It's cool. It's fun to watch it
I
build.
know I'm excited for
Excitement.
Hardyville boys basketball as well because I have a feeling I will be doing some play-by-play for some of those games this season. So
If all goes well, we're trying to the media tech class is trying to figure out how we could
how to
pull
do
off
it.
some kind of a live stream of our basketball games and
Sweet.
hoping maybe Max will take some play-by-play duties, let some students work as color next to him until they
Yeah.
get their feet under them, and that'd be cool. Opportunities abound for everybody, so that's what we're hoping for anyway, and maybe others will follow suit. But
Yeah.
anyway, the Steelers are having a heck of a time with the Browns
It
tonight.
was 10-3
Aren't
last
they?
I checked.
It's not shocking,
still
is it? I
is.
mean, it really isn't. It's not really shocking. Steelers are just clearly the better team than
Yeah.
the Cleveland poverty franchise Browns.
Got to get on it
Um,
though.
It was the Ridgeland rivalry games are going to be really fun this year. We
Ooh,
have
that
had
should
some
be
great basketball
exciting.
teams, especially the girls. The girls went to the state championship a couple years back in the first era of Hardyville athletics, girls basketball.
Yeah.
So I hope that gets restored to
I'm
its
excited for
some
that.
former glory.
I'm excited for those Richland Hardyville games because we didn't get to see it for football this year. So I'm excited to see what basketball is going to be like this season, and it should be really fun and exciting.
You're gonna want to be in the Ville on December 3rd, if you're a Loco sports fan, because it's Hampton at Hardyville, Hurricane Night,
Ooh.
and our honored guest for the night is going to be One Time Appreciation Night.
Oh, that's gonna be
Yes.
sick.
Because One
Yes.
Time is our, he's a custodian for our school, but his heart, part of his heart is with Hampton as well. His nephew, Lil Dez, will be playing for Hampton. So that thing's gonna be fun. He's gonna have a seat of honor, and we're gonna be
All right.
honoring him. Oh yeah, Hampton County always good at basketball. We're ready for it. Be
Hopping.
ready for it. Oh
It
yeah,
should be good
it'll be
this
fun.
year. I'm intrigued
It'll
to
be
see what
fun.
they look like this season.
One time.
Yeah.
He's the best. I
Yes.
saw him. I got to one time him 3 times today. Every time I see him, I
There
go,
you
one
go.
time, and he goes, Loco.
Yes.
And it was 3
Yes.
times I saw him today. So it was a good day.
Nice.
3 1 times in one day. So yeah, that's what's happening in our neck of the woods. Let me see here. We got anything else going on? That's
Not
about
much
it,
else
other than
right now.
USCB hoops, of course, on Saturday. If you haven't
Saturday.
been to a game, great opportunity on Saturday, 1:30 and 3:30 in the
It's a great
Cove.
environment.
Edward Waters. It is a great environment, and we need you to make it a great environment this weekend because students have started trickling away. So we need you to pack the Cove. They're doing $5 tickets for locals. Local 843 is the code to get $5 tickets. Free tickets, 12 and under. So come on out to the Cove and check out some Low Country College basketball, baby. Men are at home for the first time. I can't wait. Can't wait to get a peek
That
at
should be
them.
fun.
That's gonna
Should
be
be
cool.
fun.
Good
Yeah.
times. All right. Well, our presenting sponsor of the Lowco Sports Lowdown and Lowco Pigskin Preview coming at you in a minute is Mickelson Law Firm, our original sponsor and our all-star sponsor. They've been with us since the beginning. They're our official real estate closing attorney and presenting sponsor of our Hilton Head Christian Academy coverage. And Mickelson Law Firm is a big supporter of local sports and Lowco Sports. So call on them if you have legal needs. They're right in downtown Bluffton. That's our all-star sponsor. Our MVP sponsors, we got Base Hit Life with baseball and softball themed apparel, hats, t-shirts, hoodies, all kinds of cool stuff at basehitlife.com. Get over there and live your best base hit life. And Max is repping Base Hit Life tonight with his Calm Your Mitts sweater. And then we've also got Homegrown Home Inspections, official home inspector, best in the Lowco. They'll check out your home, make sure it's good to go, whether you're buying or selling. And if you're building a new home, you got to have them check on it every step of the way with their phased inspection, make sure it's built right with Homegrown Home Inspections. And Hospice Care of the Low Country is helping you out at the end of life with palliative care, hospice care, free grief counseling, and much more at Hospice Care of the Low Country, where it's not about dying, it's about living. And the USCB Center for Low Country to Hospitality Education. Gosh, Low Country Hospitality Education. If you want to learn more about the place where you live, learn about the Loco and how you can spread the word, spread the good news about the Loco, become a Island Ambassador or a Bluffton Ambassador through the USCB Center for Low Country Hospitality Education. Those are our MVP sponsors. And shall we talk the foosball? Shall
I
we
saw
talk the
this one.
foosball?
Hold on real quick. Do we know if there's a link to that game?
I don't.
I would assume it's on. Ooh,
I don't.
I don't know. I'll
But
have to look it up.
it could be on NFHS. Yeah, we'll have to see if we can find it.
Yeah,
But
I'll
we'll
look
check
it
it
up.
out. But just real quick. Just had to hear that song real quick. There we go. We got to check in on Wes, see what's going on over there. This must be a real bad sneeze attack. He must be having a rough time. But yeah, let's see. Let's see if that North Augusta game is on. We'll try to find that out. But so here's the rundown. We've got 2 and 4A. We've got Hilton Head going to South Florence. You should know it by now if you've been tuning in, but we've been through this a few times this week. May River's going to North Augusta. They will be on the road as well. Everybody's on the road. Those are both in 4A. 2A, you got Hampton at Manning. And then in 1A, you got Ridgeland at Cross. And then we'll have one more game on Saturday for all the marbles in Skeeza 1A. Thomas Hayward versus Williamsburg Academy. That's a rematch of a game the Rebels lost, a tough one earlier this season. So they've been looking forward to that one. So that's the rundown. I suppose we'll start in 4A. And we can start with that May River at North Augusta game if you wish. I think we knew when the bracket started to come together that slot where May River Bluffton was going to be a possibly advantageous slot. That path through the playoffs was looking a little more viable. And I think that May River has a real chance. I think they have a real chance. I think we saw last night the beginnings of what it looks like when they just turned Tanner Macy loose. I think it's apparent now that they were trying to make sure they kept him healthy because they knew their long-term prospects were really reliant on that, and they didn't necessarily need him to win a lot of those regular season games. But he pulled it a lot of times last week in big spots and came up with some huge plays. And there's nothing to hold back for now, right? You leave it all out there. So I think we'll see them continue to put the ball in his hands, and I think that comes with some pass options at times if it's there, and if they overcommit to that run, I think we'll see them pop a couple. So I think that's a really interesting game. I'm kind of leaning May River. What do you guys have on it?
I'm gonna go May River as well, based off of again what we saw from Tanner Macy and company last week. It was crazy that just a couple weeks earlier we saw that matchup. I called that matchup. It was 24-21. It was a great game. It was the best game that WHHI did this year, especially in terms of the
Great game.
score differentials and whatnot. And then to see what we saw via Beaufort's own last week, I mean, this is the kind of May River team that if they can get more of the pass game going, they can be a team that could possibly win this region and do some things and get really deep into the postseason like I thought they would, preseason into media day. They definitely have it in them, and they've just really played hard this year. The culture is changing, every day, every week, predominantly over the last couple of years, but for me, especially this season. And I think they're going to go on the road and they're going to get the job done. I'm going to take May River for the win.
That was my phone.
Justin.
That was my phone because my computer is dying. So that's what that was. But I don't know why it popped me right in like that. I was not trying to do that.
It does that to me. It does that to me when I'm on my phone. Weird.
That wasn't cool.
Yeah.
I agree with you, Marcus, except for one thing. I don't think they're going to get that passing game going because they really haven't done that all season long. There's a couple times where they'll throw the pass and catch the defense, by surprise. But I don't think they just don't have a passing game. They don't have a quarterback. Well, Justin's left. He'll be back in a second. I don't think they have a
Probably
quarterback.
died on it officially.
Yeah, that's probably true. But I don't think they have a quarterback who can throw the football and throw it well. Tanner Macy's good at running that offense and helping run that offense. But when it comes to passing the football, they don't have someone who has an arm, and we don't know what kind of weapons they have when it comes to the passing game either. So for those reasons, I don't think they're going to get that passing game going, and that means North Augusta is going to use their defense heavily on the run game. And if it deems effective, it could cause May River some issues. But I will say this: I like May River in this game, and the reason I like them is because from what I saw last week, they were down going into the second half. I didn't know if they were going to be able to come back with the way Bluffton was playing. But then Bluffton lost Cordell Holly for the rest of the game, and that kind of hurt them in terms of their overall offensive scheme. And then May River, started moving the momentum, moving that needle towards their direction, and ended up getting that comeback win and monster fashion too, because second overtime win is not an easy thing to do.
And just to clarify real quick, Wes, I don't mean to say that May River is going to completely change everything that they've done. They've gotten to this point. They've gotten to this point running the football, and that's still what they're going to do. But I think based off what I saw a little bit throughout the regular season, and then what I saw last week, if Macy has to throw it, 5, 7, 8
That's
times,
true.
he may be able to do that. And in some big moments.
Yeah, the question would be
that's all it is. It's not like they're pulling out this new playbook or anything.
No. I'm not trying to say that. I'm not trying to say that. What I'm saying
I was just clarifying what I was saying.
But I think you're right. I don't think it's like a super great weapon, or they would have used it more already. Like they believe they're more effective running the ball, and that's true. I mean, they're really good at running the ball.
Yeah, this is where I'm going with it. If they do try to pass the ball, the question is how effective will it be towards their offense as a whole? And I just don't see it being that effective. And I think they should stick with the run game. Yes, do what they usually do, where they throw a pass towards the end of the first half, see if they can catch the defense by surprise every now and then. But I would stick to that running game, and if they can make that running game effective, North Augusta is going to have some issues. So I'm going to take May River, but I think this one's pretty close. I would say a possession difference between these two.
I'm thinking a 7 to 10 point game in this matchup.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
Also, I wouldn't have, I do have a lot of friends who went to North Augusta, so I have a bit of, a siding with North Augusta as well, knowing what their football program has been like over the last few years. But even then, I like May River in this game because, let's be honest, a few weeks back, May River was looking like they were a lock at the 2 spot in the region. They bumped down to 4. They get their chance, and they've had probably out of Hilton Head, Bluffton, and May River the easiest look towards the playoffs. So it's
without question.
If they do win this game against North Augusta, their road continuing shouldn't be the worst. They're gonna have some struggle. They're gonna have some tough opponents, but I think they're gonna be okay.
Well, they would either go to Bishop England or Gilbert, and they already smoked Bishop England.
Yeah, they did.
That's true. So
35-8.
At Bishop England too. That's very true. Yeah, that's a good point. They got a good road.
This is the tougher one, you would think, relative to next week. They're playing the 2 seed, and then they get either the 3 or the 6.
I think, they got the luck of the draw with this playoffs, and I'm just starting to realize how good of a draw they got in the playoffs. I'm just realizing how good of a draw they have right now.
That's true. This is a good point. Their last 2 games have been absolute dogfights with Bluffton.
Yeah.
The intensity, the stakes are technically higher this week, but it feels like the intensity level may drop off a touch. They may be the dogs in this one. So
I like what Kevin's saying.
It's going to be a fight. It's going to be a fight.
Yeah.
I mean,
I like what Kevin's saying there, because if you add on to that, I did notice May River got beat up pretty heavily last week by Bluffton. I think they're going to be okay, but just don't be surprised if there's a player or two from May River who goes down, because they did get, despite the win, they got beat up bad. I mean, Bo Gwynn, there was 3 or 4 times where Bo Gwynn was on his back, trying to, get back up, get out onto the sideline and come back into the game as quickly as possible. So again, this is going to be another dogfight. I think if they do win this game, the question is, how many more dogfights can they take before it, it puts a toll on them? Oh, Wes might be here.
Oh, hey, Wes!
Is that Wes Curse music?
It's that Wes Curse music. Da, 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 da.
What's up, buddy?
Da, 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 da.
Who's your favorite band, Wes? Speaking of Wes Kerr's music.
Yeah, speaking of Wes Kerr's music.
What's going on,
Wes,
bud?
what's your favorite band?
Some sickness right now. It's
The
that
sickness? You down with the sickness?
Oh, man.
No bueno.
Yeah, you know what? I've been
No,
dealing
this-
with a bit of it too. This cold weather gets to you. It gets to you sometimes.
yeah.
It can
It's
zap
the
you.
changing weather that messes
Yeah.
me up.
Yeah.
The bouncing back and forth. I can't decide what it's going to
Right.
do.
For sure.
But we were just talking May River,
Well, I
North
think now you're
Augusta.
starting to see it trending.
Looks like Marcus and Max are both on May River. I am also thinking May River by a possession.
Yeah.
But we have been waiting on the wisdom of Wes Kerr. What do you got, buddy?
Yeah, I'd love to make a clean sweep. Because I think May River has an opportunity. They have the underdog mentality in this game, but looking at how North Augusta is playing, I think it should be a.
Uh-oh.
Did we lose Wes?
I think we lost
Yeah, we lost Wes a little bit.
momentarily.
There you
I'm trying to.
Oh,
trying to
yeah,
hold
you
my
accidentally
nose here.
muted when you went over.
Yeah, no, I did it
Yeah.
on purpose.
You're good,
but,
bro. You're good.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah, I'd love to go a clean sweep here from May River, but I'm gonna take North Augusta at home in a tight one.
That's fair.
I think this is going to be a very back and forth kind of affair. I think May River has the ingredients they need to pull off the upset on the road. I think North Augusta gets it done in a tight one. It's gonna be a close one. I May River they showed a lot last week. They showed a lot,
They did.
especially the way they were aggressive into the overtime. I thought Tanner Macy's really started to grow as a quarterback. The defense has still been very, very legit. And I think the Sharks have a great opportunity, but this North Augusta team, I feel like that's going to be a difficult test for them on the road. North Augusta 10-1 on the year. The Yellow Jackets have picked up some nice wins, including Gray Collegiate, of course. Gray Collegiate losing the rest of their season. You could kind of they both play Brooklyn Casey. Both these teams beat them. So you have a common matchup there, and they've been rolling through the rest of the schedule. And shut out Airport last week. So that Great Collegiate was actually at the end of the season. The schedule I had it backwards, but yeah, great. That was the very last game of the season after.
Well, the
Great
Airport
Collegiate
was
right. It
Airport
was
was
after Great
playoffs.
Collegiate was banned from the postseason. But
The
yeah,
Airport game was the playoff game.
yes, that's correct.
Yeah,
The
they're in the
Airport
right.
game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did the same thing earlier. I was like, "What? They played a game after Great?" But yeah, that was their playoff game.
Yeah, that was their playoff win over Airport. But yeah, I love the way Mavericks play, but this is a tough team to go up against. They're riding a hot streak. They haven't lost since the August the 30th when they played Lexington, and that was a 1-point loss. So this is a team that's on a nice run right now. Their offense has been elite throughout the year, and I think it's going to come down to whether Maverick can make a few stops. And I feel like they have the opportunity to do that, but definitely much easier said than done on the road in this environment. So I'm going to go with North Augusta by about 7 to 10 points over the Sharks.
All right. Yeah. I think it's a game that's one possession game that can swing either way pretty easily. So I can definitely see that. It's going to come down to execution, take care of the ball, all those things that always determinate. Trench play,
Right.
execution,
That's
taking
what it
care of
comes
the
down
ball,
to.
right?
Yep.
And I think that will be the case as well in the other 4A game, Hilton Head at South Florence. That is a tough draw, having to go through South Florence and Hartsville after having to play Crestwood. I mean, we always talk about trying to avoid that Florence area region, and Hilton Head's got a draw that takes them all the way through it. They drag them right through it.
Yeah.
So if they get to that state championship game, man, they
Gauntlet.
will have really
Earned it.
done something.
And then some.
With that said, I think they are the kind of team that is really built to go on the road and knock off somebody. There he is. He got gremlined.
Yeah, dude, my
I think
camera
Hilton Head is a
decided to stop
team
working.
that's built for this road playoff grind. If they go out and get on top of you early, they're tough. They're tough to come back on. Timko is going to leave it all on the field. You know that. Raniszewski's been terrific. I think as long as he
Zarnecki as
doesn't,
well.
Yeah, Zarnecki.
yeah,
You can't
Zarnecki's
Ames.
amazing on both sides of the ball. I think as long
Bigger
as
on defense
Zarnecki,
has been huge. He's been big.
Bigger's been
when they don't
great.
turn it over, they don't lose. And
Right.
so
And they've been
I think if they can
they've been
take care of the
business
ball, they
football
have a real shot. Convince me to pick the Seahawks, Wes.
Well, I will say that this is they did them no favors with the draw. It's a brutal matchup in this second round. When you take a look at the opportunity that is presented in front of this Hilton Head team, past the tough test in that first round on Friday. That Crestwood team far from easy, and Hilton had to earn it down the stretch. Defense stood tall a couple times, and they were able to march down the field and kill the rest of the clock. So, credit to Hilton for winning this game, this first round matchup, but it's only gonna get tougher from here. And South Lawrence, the Bruins have shown why they have been an elite team, not just this year but in the past. However, I feel like this kind of breeds a possibility for an upset, which is what you discussed. And I think it starts with the way the defense has been playing. It's a hungry group, and all 11 guys are going to do their job and make sure they will handle their role. But Josh Bigger, you mentioned him, a very underrated piece of that unit this year. So that's going to be someone to keep an eye on. But Zarnecki, he plays both ways. He's been a monster. In a game like this, you're going to utilize your athletes on both sides of the ball. So I expect to see a lot of Zarnecki in this game as it goes along, because he's been the driving force offensively, of course, alongside Troy Timko. But if you're Hilton Head, you're going to have to continue the good job that you have done taking care of the football, and you have to make all the right plays as this game goes on, make the good reads, and I think they have trust now in Raniszewski. He has been the guy, and he has delivered many a time. And to see what the corner that they turned as the seasons went along, I think is really encouraging that they can make this a game. I think it starts on the defensive side of the ball. You have guys like Tristan Simmons, Zarnecki, Appius, who's had a nice season as well. Caleb Spangler, who has also kind of got a little nose. He's been great this year. Spangler he's been getting after the quarterback. He has 8 sacks on the year, so he can apply some pressure. And then Appies with a couple of interceptions. So this defense, when given the opportunity, will feast. But this is going to be quite the test that they will have against the South Florence team that is starting to kind of hit their stride a bit. This is going to be quite a difficult matchup before them, but I think you said, the way that Hilton has been playing, the way they've been trending, and the opportunistic defense that they've been playing, and the hungerness that they've shown out there in the field. I mean, they beat Brooklyn Casey by 26. I mean, you expect them to win that, but they did get crushed by Hartsville 54-35 the week before. So, I mean, they beat Fort Dorchester. That was a nice win. They beat West Florence. So, certainly it's going to take a lot for Hilton to knock off South Florence, but it isn't out of the realm of possibility at all. So I kind of think Hilton Head will find a way to rely on that defense early, try to hold on and make it a game into the second half. And South Florence has a couple of guys who are dangerous in the run. Leonard is is averaging over 11 yards per carry. He's got 13 touchdowns, someone to watch out for. But they've been able to throw it a bit as well. Have South Florence and a couple guys that can hurt you, including Jaden Sellers, who is he brother of Lenore Sellers potentially?
I would guess so.
I would believe so, but yeah, he seems like a guy that Hilton's gonna have the key on him. You can take a guy like him away, and then just play that strong run defense that we've shown. I think it's gonna be a favorable opportunity for Hilton then. But like I said, you gotta get some stops. You gotta hold them to at least some field goals or try to force some takeaways. Try to make these players uncomfortable who have especially their junior quarterback who may not be as ready for the moment compared to Sellers or another guy. So I think this defense can step in here and make a statement that it's all about using that run game and powering in and picking up a couple of scores, and all of a sudden you have yourself a chance. So I'm very excited as a Hilton Head fan. I mean, this is getting their first playoff win since 15. That was huge, and I feel like they can sustain it. I feel like the recipe's there, and because of that, I'm going to go with the Seahawks picking up the upset.
Was waiting for them
on the road. I'll say go ahead touchdown late, and then the defense gets one more stop to win it by 4 points. It's going to be exciting, and Hilton Head is able to hold on and get the biggest win in program history in the BJ Payne.
I'm gonna go with Wes on this, and he brought up some great points about the defense, which, especially for me as a play-by-play guy, I love talking offense all the time. I saw Hilton Head 3 times this year. I saw them against Aiken, I saw them against May River, and I saw them against Bluffton. And in all 3 games, despite what they did offensively, scoring 45 points, 42 points, and against Bluffton or against May River, they scored 23. The defense is what keyed them in all of those victories, and it's what has keyed them all year. Defensively, they're averaging giving up like 10, 11 points a game. It's unreal, and they are going to have to get after it, and they've been able to do it without Connor Wendell for at least 3/4 of the season, which is huge
Basically the
too.
whole season.
Yeah,
I think he only played
theoretically
2 games.
the entire season.
Yeah.
So that's huge too. And I just see this team, I've said what BJ Payne told me at the end of the Bluffton game about this being the best, team that he's had and most fun that he's had coaching in 19 years. It's the best team I've seen in a decade. You can talk all those superlatives and everything else, but at the end of the day, this team is ready to play. They show up and they are ready to go, whether it's practice, whether it's the game. It doesn't matter what the situation is. They could play at home, they could play on the road, they could play on Mars. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
They're ready to go. And I think they're going to be ready to go. They've got a gauntlet in the playoffs. They got through against a very good Crestwood team last week. They've got another big task coming up to tomorrow night. I think they're going to go on the road again and get the job done. I'm taking the Seahawks by a field goal. And oh, by the way, they can kick too.
They can. I was going to say, Bo Sexton walk-off field goal.
Bo Sexton,
definitely
good grief.
within the realm. This football game is bananas, by the way. It is snowing
just about
crazy in Cleveland. And the Browns brought it. Like, Mike Tomlin has the whole, white, snowy beard thing going. It's crazy times in Cleveland. Max,
Icicles of the beard. That is a pain in the you-know-what.
Yes, it is. Max, you on these Seahawks too?
This is really close. I think it's really close between these two. I mean, you look at South Florence's losses this year. 2 of them are to 2 teams ranked in the top 3 at the 5A level in both Somerville and Northwestern. Both teams are undefeated right now in 5A football. The other loss was to the number 1 ranked team in 4A football, Hartsville. So they've had their losses have come to 3 teams ranked in the top 10 overall, according to Max Preps Football, and that's pretty close to accurate.
It's the best we got.
Yeah, those are 3 teams ranked in the top 10. Hilton Head's losses aren't terrible. I mean, a 24-0 loss to James Island.
Right.
That's another team.
It's not a bad loss at all.
I mean, that's a James Island team that's 9-2
Right.
In 5A football this year. So
And still
a
playing.
really solid James Island football team. Then you lost to Bishop England. Again, Bishop England at Bishop England, not the easiest place to play. They did lose that game. It was kind of unexpected, but
Played like
after
dogs,
that
though.
game,
Played like
but
dogs
after
and
that
still
game,
had a shot.
yes, but after that game, they went on pretty much a dominant run for the next 5 weeks, or at least the next 4 weeks up till the Crestwood game against May River, Colleton County, Beaufort, and Bluffton, where they pretty much smoked every single one of them. I mean, May River was a closer game than what it looked like, but Hilton Head was just a better team in that game. Colleton County got smoked by Hilton Head. Beaufort, kind of the same thing. Hilton Head was just a better team, and then they smoked Bluffton. That one shocked everyone. Look, this team's at the hottest that they've been this season, and I like where they're sitting right now. South Florence is really good, and this is going to come down to last second kind of play, I think. This is so tough. Screw it. I'm gonna go Seahawks in this one. I think they got the stronger team look, South Florence is a very talented team, but I think the way Hilton Head's been playing on both sides of the ball, including defense, I agree with Marcus. But that defense has grown up a lot this season.
Unreal.
They've grown up a lot, and we didn't think they had
9 of 11 guys back for them.
We didn't think they had a passing defense until that Bluffton game where they showed out on both running and passing. They were unbelievably tough to go against on both aspects of defense. That defense is going to be a problem for South Florence. And I think for those reasons, I got to take the Seahawks by possession here.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think there's certainly a scenario, a game script where South Florence takes the ball first and scores and gets a stop and scores again, and it's 14-0, and Hilton Head can't get ahead of the sticks, and it gets kind of out of hand. They lose by like 28 points or something. But I also think the more likely scenario is they go in there and what they've done all year. They've got a great scheme for an offense that is not dissimilar from Bluffton's. Better playmakers on it, but not dissimilar. I think they have a plan that is executable to win this game. And I think if they play the defense they've been playing and keep them, in the 20s, then I think they got a real shot because Hartsville rolled up the rushing yards on this team, and Hilton Head can roll up some rushing yards now. So,
and hey, don't forget that Rishevsky can throw it. He can,
that's the other thing.
A big throw to
absolutely.
I think outside of Bluffton, I think they have the second most versatile offense, in my opinion, in our region. I really think Bluffton had the most versatile, but Hilton Head was second. I mean, they were the only other team I could tell, that was really versatile in both passing and running the football, in our region. So I agree. I think the more versatile of an offense you are, the more difficult it's going to be to defend it. And that's another reason why I would take Hilton Head in this game, because I think they can confuse that South Florence defense at times. And then on the other side of this game, Hilton Head's defense is going to be a handful for South Florence.
Oh my goodness, it is a classic.
It is great.
Bowl.
AFC North.
This is nuts.
The AFC North division.
Yeah.
Where's Chris Berman when you need him?
It's wonderful.
Where's the Cleveland Browns team that can actually play football when you need them?
They're playing hard tonight, man.
They are tonight, but my God.
Getting back to the Hilton Head South Florence game real quick, Beaufort's Own's going to be on the call of that, right?
They sure are.
Yes, they will.
Is making a long trip.
Yes, sir.
They're already getting ready to go on the road now. And
I'll be watching it.
A long trek to.
Many will.
Me too. I'll be watching it.
Yep.
Many will. I'll be watching it wherever I am. If it's on the sidelines in Manning or wherever.
So doing double duty and putting it on during dinner.
Yeah. Can I just say, Can I just say, poor Jameis Winston, man, he ain't used to this kind of weather. He's been in Florida for most of his career.
Oh no, this is
New
real
Orleans.
football right here. This is AFC.
Jameis, I'm so
rivalry
sorry for you,
football
man.
No,
You know what though? Jameis
November.
looks like
He's
he's
doing
having
well.
the time of his life right now. He's
Well,
balling
yeah,
out
because he's
tonight.
never played in snow before.
He's like a kid out there. He's balling
Yeah.
out. But all right,
Yeah.
so we think that the Lowco will march on in the 4A bracket this week. We'll find out tomorrow night. Let's shout out our MVP or our varsity sponsors. We got DDS Web Design, building, hosting, maintaining websites for businesses and nonprofits to get results. So you need to get found online so you can do more and think bigger. Go to ddshhi.com. We've got who else we got in this one? Parker Law Group serves legal needs across Colleton, Hampton, and Jasper counties. I'm doing this off my computer's dying, so I'm doing this off the top of my head. They're out on the Lowco frontier serving those legal needs. So they help us continue to expand our coverage and shine a light on more deserving teams and student athletes around the Lowco, like those Hampton County Hurricanes tomorrow night, Ridgeland Jaguars, and Thomas Hayward Rebels. The outer Lowco representing well this season. And then who else we got? We got who else is in this one?
Oh, I don't know. Do I need to look it up for
Oh
you?
wait, it's down here. DDS Web Design, Parker Law Group,
Should be on the
Reverend's
bottom.
Wrestling Club, the official wrestling sponsor
There you go.
of LowcoSports. Take your skills on the mat to the next level at Reverend's Wrestling Club. And Dr. Ambrose Cole from Rooted Living Wellness, our official chiropractor. Go see him over at Rooted Living Wellness in Bluffton, and he'll get you feeling right, mind, body, and spirit. Those are our varsity sponsors. So we move on into the smaller school brackets. 2A, Hampton County at Manning. This is the one where the Max Preps algorithm would have us say that our Lowco team is the favorite because Hampton actually ranked like 5 spots ahead of Manning in the Max Preps rankings. So that is interesting. That's informative. I know Max has an opinion of Hampton based a lot on that Barnwell game. I don't think we're going to see that again. I really don't.
I don't. Yeah,
I think but I don't know. There has been a tendency at times with that program to kind of not choke, but like try to do too much in the big moments. Try to kind of get away from their identity a little bit. But I think they're the conscientious type of coaches who learn from that too. So I think they're going to stick to their game plan. I really think Hampton's going to win this game, but Manning's a tough place to play. It is they're a good team. But I think Hampton, the work they did, play in Bluffton, play in Hilton Head, really challenging themselves early. And then I think the way things came together for them at the end, where they had that last week off, they got a little respite. They got guys healthy. You never know. Like they're always worried when kids get away for a while. Like is everybody going to come back in the right mindset? But they came out last week and looked really good against Woodland. So I think they're rolling pretty good. I'm taking the Canes on the road. Bell rings just as loud on the road.
Oh, it does. I think even louder sometimes because of the silence. The silence when they score on the road makes it even louder.
That's true. It rings out
No doubt.
because there's no crowd to drown it out.
And
That's
I just
right.
say before we move on, Cleveland did score another touchdown, so they're up with a 2-pointer, so they are up 18-6.
Right, so looking.
Hopefully Jerry Judy's
you are
getting
right,
2 points.
Justin. Jameis is having the time of his life on that field right now. He's loving this.
Ravens fans are pretty happy about this too, so we'll have to see how things go. But going back to the proceedings here in the Lowco with the Hampton County Hurricanes, we wish this one would have been played in Varnville, but I like the chances for this Hurricanes team to advance here, and I think these teams are very evenly matched. It should be pretty much up for the taking. It's a pick-up in my eyes, but I think Hampton County has turned on the right gear recently. I was impressed by the way they handled themselves in that first round win, and I think that they're kind of sleep. I think people are kind of sleeping on them a bit. I feel like everyone was high on them to begin the season. They took a tough loss to Barnwell, but I still think they're a dangerous team as we get towards these final these final few games in postseason. They're right there, and it's going to take a pretty strong performance and one that I think they can pull off over there on Friday night. Uh, it the Brockton's going to have to open up some holes for Singletary, and Chris Terry is going to have to get some time because
That's a
he
big
made a
key.
couple of big throws last year in the playoffs, and you can never sleep on his ability. He's had a kind of an up and down year, but when he's on, he can be very dangerous. So don't count out to compete with Terry in a game like this. And you still have some guys defensively like Manuel Sanders and a few others. Singletary kind of playing both ways. Another guy who is super dangerous when he's out there. Hampton's still a solid group, and I would not bet against them in a game like this. Although Manning coming in 9-1, they've had a very strong year. Hampton's going to have to bring their game, and they've done well on the road. I know they lost one at Hilton Head, did not get off the bus, but I feel like this one could be a little different. It's going to be just some minor details that decide a game like this when you think about it. But I think Hampton, they have the top end guys, the high level performers that they need for a game like this. Singletary leading the way, but don't sleep on guys like Jordan Bovain and Little Risher, who's come up big as the season has gone on. So they got some dudes offensively, some different guys, but they still got some dudes. And Manuel Sanders wants to finish off his senior year with hopefully at least one more playoff win. And there are some guys like Terry and Blake who have grown alongside this defense. And Risher, sophomore, he's got a couple over 12 tackles for loss. So Hampton's got to put all together on the road. Like I said, it's going to be a couple plays to decide it. I like the Canes in a tight one, and I like them to advance to the third round.
I do too. I do too. I think from what I've seen, and one of these days, whether it's at Hampton or a little bit easier for me would be to see them, take on like Bluffton or Buford or Hilton Head here close by, May River. I would like to get my eyes on this program because I've heard nothing but great things about it. And just in talking to you guys and getting an idea over the last couple of seasons of how they operate their business, they come ready to go. And I think they're going to go into this matchup. Obviously, as you guys have talked about, an 8-2 season, very, very well played. Hilton Head did get them earlier on, but there's no fight or there's no give up. It's all fight. And these Hampton County Hurricanes, I'm going to go with them over Manning. Also, a very good team at 9-1, but I'm going to take the Hurricanes.
Go Canes! All right, it's unanimous. You on it, Max?
It is.
I haven't made a decision yet.
Oh, okay. I couldn't remember. I just got excited watching Justin Fields scamper down the side.
Yeah.
No.
I'm going to put it out there. This shows how good Manning is this season. Their only loss was to that Crestwood team that Hilton Head beat this past week, and it was only a 3-point game at the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
That's a very solid Manning team. Yeah, for a 3-point game with a 4A school, that's pretty good from Manning. 9-1. They didn't lose a single game in their region this season. Didn't lose a game after that first week against Crestwood. Very good Manning team. However, like Justin said, I had my doubts with Hampton after their game against Barnwell. I didn't think they were playing smart football, would be the way I think I should put it there. They weren't playing smart football. And, I wanted to see them play better as a team, as a whole, on both sides of the ball. The defense has played well this season, but they've had some moments of, doubt from fans and stuff like that, as well as, myself. That changed last week against Woodland, and that's not a, that's a tough Woodland team to beat, and they beat them by 3 touchdowns. So, I think my doubts right now are gone for Hampton County, and I think they're going to play well. I think Chris Terry is going to give it everything he's got at quarterback. I think the running back duo is going to be extremely effective against Manning. I think if you get that passing game going for Hampton County, which I think they can, and I think they will, that running game will be so much more effective. So if they can get all things going on that offense, Manning's going to have some real struggles against this Hampton County team. And for that reason, I'm going to go Hampton County in this one, but I think it's going to be really close. I'll say 2 possessions in favor of Hampton County.
I'm closer.
Yeah, I'm saying about like 10 points or so. If it goes the way I think it will.
I think.
Like I said, I feel like people are still thinking on that. They still have some dangerous guys on that. For a lot from last year, I feel like can really make some noise as we get towards the deep part of these playoffs. So don't sleep on the Canes here. Don't sleep on the Canes here.
Oh man, definitely not. And then in 1A, we got the Jags, Ridgeland Jags, going on the road to Cross. Cross is really solid. I got to see them a couple years ago. Obviously, different team now, but I saw them a couple years ago in Estel's final season in the playoffs. They're a solid program. They've been really good this year. But Ridgeland is much like Hilton Head. I feel like Ridgeland is built for the playoffs in the sense that they run the ball really well. They mostly run the ball. They're effective with it, and they play tough defense. And if you do those 2 things well, you're going to stay in a lot of games and have a chance to win them. They are fired up. I do know that. I think Ridgeland's going to go up there and really compete, and I think they have a real chance to win. But I can't be total homer on every game, right? So, I thought Cross was going to be a 1A title contender going into the season. They haven't really done anything that would discourage me from thinking that. I think Ridgeland's magic may run out this week. They can't get away with the mistakes that they made last week against Scotts Branch this week. They will definitely bury them. I think Cross is going to take this, but I think Ridgeland keeps it within 2 touchdowns at least and makes it quite a fight. And we'll have reporting on the ground from Noah Scott from Studio Sports tomorrow night.
Yeah, that's right.
I tell you, sorry, Max. I tell you what, I just had to take a look at some max prep numbers on Cross. I've been talking about how Hilton Head's defense has impressed me this year and has been one of the best that I've seen. It says here via max preps that Cross has given up 83 points on the season.
Yeah.
That is nuts.
Yeah, they're nuts.
5-0 at home, 4-1 on the road. They had that neutral game earlier in the year too, which they got beat in. And I agree completely with you, JJ. I would love to take Ridgeland. Ridgeland has had, a very good spot in my heart since I called them a river game of theirs a couple of years ago, and then they just took off from there, won a couple of games, and ever since, I've been definitely on the Jags, but I don't see it with this one. This Cross team, just from the numbers that I'm looking at, seems pretty legit, undefeated in region play, and definitely a class team in 1A. Sorry, Ridgeland folks, I got to go Cross in this one, and I mean, hopefully Ridgeland can do what they've done, in terms of playing strong defense, controlling the pace of the game, running the football, but it might get ugly. Regardless, best of luck to Ridgeland tomorrow for sure, but I'm going to take Cross in this one.
Yeah, I do want to. There's one thing I wanted to mention. So Cross has 2 losses this year. One of those losses was to Timberland, which is a very solid team. The other one, which is a little puzzling, a little surprising, Lake Marion.
Yeah. Well, Lake Marion, they're in the same district, I believe. I think they're in the same school district. That's a rivalry game. Lake Marion's a 2A. They're a 1A. Was that game close?
Yeah, 7-6 overtime.
Yeah. I mean, they're supposed to lose that game. Kind of like Whale Branch is supposed to lose to Battery Creek. Doesn't mean it always happens, but they're supposed to because they're in the same district and they're smaller. So I wouldn't hold out too much against them.
And apart from that, I can't. I think Ridgeland made one too many mistakes for me last week. They barely got out of that game
They did.
alone, and I think for those reasons, if they don't make mistakes, I think this could be a closer game than the experts predict. But I think if they do make those same mistakes they made last week, it's going to be a long night for Ridgeland, and I think for that reason, I know for a fact they'll probably make at least one mistake, and Cross will beat you up on that one mistake. So I think for that reason, I'm going to take Cross in this one. But I agree with Justin. I think they can keep it within 2 possessions.
Yeah, Ridgeland is, no matter what happens here, Ridgeland has had a fantastic season to still be playing.
Oh, yeah.
Picking up a really nice overtime win a week ago, home playoff victory. But Cross has been one of the better programs, not just this year, but the last couple of seasons in 1A or now 2A or 1A football. This Cross team seems like every year they're in the region or they've won it. So look for this Ridgeland team to battle. I think they've shown that they absolutely can do that. But this Trojans team right now playing at home and the way that they have shown themselves knocking the door of going on a deep run in these 1A playoffs. You did mention they lost to Lake Marion. They lost, but that was well early in the season. They've gone on a roll since then.
True.
Their defense has always been so good. I just remember not just this year, but the last year. Their defense has just been phenomenal. They've shut out the 3 straight teams to beat Bethany Bowman, Baptist Hill, and Green Sea Floyd's in shutout fashion. Obviously, those teams aren't the best in 1A this year, but I mean, you just look at how consistent their defense is played and how tough they are to continue to battle and shut down an opponent. And I just don't think Ridgeland is going to have enough to put enough points on the board in a game like this. So I think Cross is just a little bit more of a complete team on either side of the ball. Nothing against Ridgeland. They've had a terrific year. I just think Cross is still at that upper echelon in 1A, and Ridgeland's going to have to really pull some things off to win this one. But I got Cross at home, but what a year it has been for that Ridgeland Jaguars team. A successful year, no matter what happens tomorrow.
Yeah, absolutely. And
Without a doubt.
I think they got a shot, but it's going to be tough. I can only take my homerism so far. So that's all the high school league games for tomorrow night for our area. But then we have one more on Saturday, one more football game for all the Skeeza 1A marbles. I don't know how many marbles they have in Skeeza 1A, but you get all of them if you win this one. Thomas Hayward, Williamsburg Academy. Williamsburg beat them 28-26 in Ridgeland, September 13th. Thomas Hayward has been hoping for a rematch in the playoffs ever since, and they get it in the granddaddy. So high noon kickoff at Charleston Southern, Thomas Hayward, Williamsburg Academy, and I already said it last night, but I will restate it. Ain't nobody stopping them Rebels tomorrow or Saturday. I got Tony O touchdown, Josh Gibson, and all them homies, and they're gonna roll. They're gonna win. I got them. I got them by 2 touchdowns.
Hey, I would be surprised if they do roll them, but I expect this one to be close. Williamsburg it seems like they've been there so many times before. They are a tremendous football team.
Steelers ball. They scored a touchdown and recovered a fumble in the snow.
Oh, did they?
There you go. Now ready to bring out those snow angels.
Wow. Bring out the snow angels.
Crazy.
Sorry, Wes.
Over there in the snow in Cleveland, as the Browns looking to knock off the Pittsburgh Steelers in this AFC North matchup. But going back here to where it will not be snowing.
I hope not.
No, it's going to be snowing.
Chilly enough.
In Charleston,
way it is right now.
It's going to be cold, though. But
right.
What you got, Wes?
not
Sweet.
enough. University will I'll be overcovered. I'm excited for it though. I'll be out at the Cove at scores table for the USCB men's and women's St. Sharks. Looking for that, but certainly would have loved to have been able to catch this one as well. But this is the state championship game we were hoping for in 1A, and we're gonna get it. Two terrific teams. Thomas Hayward has taken it to another level this year. Chino Bader's been the catalyst as a junior, but there have been a lot more supporting pieces this year to this Hayward team. And Josh Gibson, you mentioned he's been there for a while, but he's really starting to come out in a big way this season for the Rebels. And a few other guys as well.
Colton Young's been a
Colton
dog.
Young, Bogus at quarterback. Oh, Pinkney, good grief.
Yeah, I mean, Bogus.
Yeah,
don't
they
forget
got
about him.
athletes everywhere.
He made some really nice throws, and when you can get Tony Banner to, a chance to go out wide, and it just brings another added weapon for you when you have an opportunity to bring O'Banner as a wideout, and you still have a decent arm at quarterback. It just brings so much. It's so hard to defend, and I just don't see how Williamsburg's gonna find enough stops against this Hayward offense because they throw so much at you. And I will say Williamsburg, always a very terrific Skeeza team, no matter what the division they play in now at 20. But they played Hilton Christian Academy in the state championship before as well, so they moved down. They were formerly a little higher in their classification, but
they were at
2A.
Yeah, they were at 2A when they played Hilton Christian
They
Academy.
were,
Hilton
yeah.
Christian
When
Academy
the
was
Hilton
doing
Christian was
2A
all
at the time.
2A, back when they were only there were only
Oh my.
classifications then when the Stallions were playing with the Eagles. Had a couple of fun matchups between those two teams, but I think Williamsburg they have a chance. The defense has been playing well. They did give up 22 to Dorchester Academy, but still not a bad effort there. The defense has been better for Williamsburg, but I think Hayward is you don't really see a matchup as tough as what you see with Tony O'Banner and company. And Williamsburg has some great guys on the defensive side. I mean, it's always a defense that can find a way to make plays against you, but I just feel like Hayward presents a challenge that you just don't see every day or every week, every Friday night or every Saturday, especially at skis. We see it on Saturday at the end, but you don't see it very often. But I feel like Hayward is a little bit more, but Williamsburg, Conrad Boulder's gone, but they still have another Boulder brother, and he's been excelling as a quarterback. He's been, leading. So that's if Hayward can contain him, they don't have too much else. They're not as strong offensively as they were in the past. So if they can contain that potent weapon in Boulder, I think that really provides them a good chance of making enough stops to let the offense do their thing and win this game. So I think Hayward finds a way to pull away in the second half and they win by about 14 or so, and will crown themselves state champs over at Charleston Southern and continue with.
Yeah, I got like 35-21, something like that.
I agree. Yep. They've got athletes everywhere. I mean, I was so impressed with what I saw of those guys against Buford Academy in the one game that I actually called for WHHI involving THA, but I saw him against JP2 as well. And I mean, Gibson that night was incredible. Obviously, Tony O'Banner. That was my first look at Bogus at quarterback against JP2. And they've got athletes, like I said, everywhere. Robinson can do a bunch of things as well. So they're going to be ready to go based off the fact that they lost tight early in the year between these two teams in that matchup back in mid-September. Athletes everywhere. They can do it all. They've got a tenacious D, and they're going to be running like they're UNLV. The running Rebels. It is going to be just pandemonium with what they're going to be able to do to pull away in the second half. I'm thinking, say, like 31-14, taking THA.
Yep.
No other way but THA.
You said Tenacious D. What's your favorite dish? I'm not going to cook it, but I'll order it from Zanzibar.
Now the Steelers go up in front, by the way. That's
You
crazy.
should.
Yeah,
The
dude.
Browns are up multiple
Crazy.
scores, but now Pittsburgh just took the lead.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Pittsburgh's got the lead. And I think I need
Ooh, boy.
one George Pickens catch and one Dustin Hopkins field goal to hit my parlay. Let's go, boys.
Yep. Good luck.
Can't,
I'm gonna say this about Thomas Hayward. They have really shown a lot this season. I mean, they've been probably the most consistent team in our area this season.
Yeah.
And that's saying something, you know. And so they want this one. They want this one bad, really bad. They really want this game. And I think for that reason, I got to go Thomas Hayward in this one. I think they're going to get the best of Williamsburg Academy. I think Tony Banner, Nick Robinson, you know, Colton Young, the rest of those guys, they want this one. They did not like losing at home to Williamsburg early in the season. You know they want this bad. They want this so bad. They're going to do it whatever it takes to win this game. They're going to give their best performance come Saturday against Williamsburg. And I think for that reason, there's no way you can't go against the Rebels here. So I'm taking Thomas Hayward. I take them big time. I'll take them 35-21. I also wanted to mention there is one other state championship game with a team that we have kind of adopted at times as a LowcoSports team. Being they are in Savannah, that's fine, but that one should be a good one as well. It's Bethesda against PD Academy.
Ooh. Now
these two teams played each other back on 25th of October. It was a 3-point game in favor of PD Academy. PD Academy's undefeated. They did beat Williamsburg this year 25-0. So, you know, that just gives you an idea of how good of a team they can be.
Are we going to pick it?
A 3-point game back in October. This one's interesting. And Bethesda has a chance of going back-to-back for state championships. I want you guys' opinions on this.
They won that last second missed field goal by Williamsburg,
right?
Yeah. How they won last year.
I tell you what, I saw PD last year against HHCA, and HHCA made them look just not great. PD is back, and they're roaring and ready to go. They're 11-0. I think I would take PD in that matchup. Bethesda though has had a really good year. They've done a lot, but I think I would lean towards PD. This is a very, very good football program.
Where did they play in the regular season, Max?
Let me look. At PD.
Okay, that's a really tough place to play. That's like at least a touchdown.
And it was a 3-point game. 3-point game.
I'm taking Bethesda in the rematch. Give me the Blazers. Antoine.
Yeah,
Turner,
that's what I was thinking.
Antoine Turner. That coach is he's incredible.
Yeah.
He does.
I'm taking the Blazers, man. I'm taking the Blazers all the way. I think they're gonna want this game. This is a lot like Thomas Hayward Williamsburg game. They played each other in the regular season. Bethesda lost. I think they get the better of the undefeated Eagles of PD Academy come Saturday. Give me the Blazers, man. I think they give PD a taste of their own medicine. Make it a 1-possession game, 3 points.
That's gonna be a battle. That's gonna be a good game.
Yeah.
That'd be a good game.
I'm really sure. I believe so. It's a tough one. It's very, very close. Bethesda coming up big last year. It's hard down against PE in the state championship game. Seems like they always show up. I'm gonna go with the Eagles in the tight one. That's gonna be a great game. Certainly worth staying around for that one if you're going for the time that the 1A game, because that'll follow right after.
Jameis is balling out.
Oh, man.
He is. He fully is.
What a play to Jerry Judy. Did you see a while ago when they hit him and smashed him to the ground and knocked his headset out of his helmet and he still threw a touchdown pass?
And did you say that went to Jerry Judy?
Yeah,
just now?
Nice. No, it wasn't.
Got him on my fantasy team.
It was a big gain on third down.
Got a little. I think he got
buddy.
a little beat up there.
Judy's got 4 for 64.
All right.
Oh.
That's not.
He's having
terrible.
a day. Whew, it's a great game.
God, it's snowing
So,
down
yeah.
there, man.
Bethesda
Yeah.
adopted Lowco team for Saturday. We on
Yeah.
Bethesda.
I tell you what, that Pinewood Prep Wilson Hall game is going to be really good too.
Yeah,
I
maybe
don't think so.
Pinewood might boat race them again. I don't know though. Wilson Hall's
I think-
defense. Wilson Hall's defense playing really well right now. They played great.
Yeah,
Yeah, but they didn't do that against Pinewood, and that's the thing.
They did not.
I think Pinewood's too good. I think Pinewood's just too good for Wilson Hall. I think Christian Kennedy was good. Pinewood Prep's better by a long
Pinewood should be
shot.
playing Hammond. Pinewood should be playing Hammond.
Who is playing Hammond? Is it Lawrence Manning?
Portergad. That's a good
Portergad.
game too.
Yeah, Porter got.
That's a good game. That's fun. Portergad's good.
Big good one.
So take the over.
I did see them at the beginning of the season, so yeah, they are good.
I'd take the over in that one, whatever it is.
Oh yeah,
Might
Agreed.
be about
Agreed.
117, but I'd still take it.
I agree. I'm taking the over in that one.
There's some juice in that game on offense. Max is in on the Pinewood Derby.
Well, yeah, I had to watch them brutally murder Hilton Christian Academy earlier in the season. Then they murdered Wilson Hall the next week.
Man,
I'm taking Pinewood by all means. I'm
telling you, it's a little bit of like, whoa, oh, Jameis threw a pick.
Oh,
It's a little bit of what we saw, but I'm telling you, the night we saw Pinewood Prep, they were incredible. It was almost hard to watch on the
that's a 4A football team. Let's just put it blunt and honestly, that's a 4A football team that was playing against Christian Academy that night. That was a 4A football level team,
It was that's a legitimate football.
Like that's a team that could compete against Hammond. I think Hammond would win that game, but I think they could compete against Hammond.
They could compete against a lot of people in the public schools too. They got a legit roster.
They got a full team. They got a running back who can run the football. They have a quarterback who knows how to throw the football. They got a full offense and they got a full defense too. It's a full team.
Yeah, fully formed football team, no qualifications.
Absolutely. Agreed.
But so that's it, boys. That's all we got for this week. Let's shout out our Lowco Booster Club, and then we'll give our parting thoughts and coast on into Friday. Lowco Booster Club, your friends and mine, Court Lifestyle Pros, Daniel and Debbie Court with Charter One Realty. They want to bring you home to Hilton Head Island. Eagle Creations is over on Argent Boulevard. They've got some great stuff over there. Promotional items, custom apparel, custom gifts, and much more. Jay's Barbershop, they got Tonio Banner looking good. They'll do the same for you in downtown Ridgeland. Barefoot Floor Care of the Low Country. Get your floors so clean, your feet will thank you. Hudson Seafood House on the Docks, presenting sponsor of Under the Bus, new episode featuring me in place of Curry Kirkpatrick up on the Lowco Media Network. And Hurricane Sports Cafe is the place to be if you're hungry or thirsty in Hampton. Probably going to be empty tomorrow night. You could probably get a good seat tomorrow night while the Hurricanes are out of town. But if you're ever out in Hampton and you need something to eat or drink, go say hi to the folks at Hurricanes. Tell them the guys from Lowco sent you. So, all right, fellas, great show tonight. What are your parting thoughts before we go into the night?
I know I'm going to be on with you guys tomorrow discussing more of what happened during the game.
Your sauce will mix with ours, and it'll make a good goulash, yeah?
There's another Tenacious D line. Your sauce will mix with ours, and it'll make a great goulash, yeah?
Sure.
That's
Absolutely.
from Tenacious D's banger Dio about the great Ronnie James Dio.
Okay. But we've got a week till Thanksgiving, but there of course is a lot to be for us, especially for us as sports fans and guys in the media. There's a lot to be thankful for in terms of what we're able to do and what we're able to see. I watched my first basketball period. I saw a little bit of Miami and Drake this afternoon. So you got all those Thanksgiving Day tournaments going on in college basketball. Got some huge matchups coming up. Duke plays Arizona tomorrow, which is going to be outstanding. You got a bunch of other really good games coming up over the next week, let alone all the football as we get going towards playoffs in college. Obviously, what we're doing, covering the high school playoffs here in both the SCISA and SCHSL ranks. And just very thankful for not only what we do and my camaraderie and friendship with you guys, but just everything that's been going on. 2024 has been a pretty
Yeah.
daggone good year for a lot of us, and just happy to be able to absorb it all.
Amen, brother.
Great.
Amen. And we're happy to have you joining us regularly. It's good times.
Yeah.
Max
And
Moran?
I will make sure that Kevin joins me during basketball season.
Oh, we're gonna make him.
You can count on that.
Hey, you guys can call me up if you want me to hop on with you guys for a few broadcasts. I'm down with hanging out with you guys on WHHI too. Anyway, I do have one thing. I wanted to shout out some family members of mine. My two cousins, my cousins Hollis and Reagan. They're both high-level rowers. They're both bound to go D1. One of them's currently at, or at least I think last week she was looking at SMU. She's gotten offers from Alabama, SMU, Kansas, multiple different schools, and I just want to shout them out. They've been traveling across the country for rowing tournaments. They've been to places like Boston, Nashville, and they live in Atlanta, mind you, so a lot of traveling around and stuff like that. I wanted to shout these two out.
Awesome.
I love you both. I hope you guys are watching tonight. I don't know if you are, but if you are, I love both of you guys. And I look forward to seeing what you guys do at the next level. So just wanted to shout them out real quick.
Awesome.
It's awesome.
Way to go, ladies. Keep it
Congrats,
up.
ladies.
Call.
Absolutely.
It's that time
Keep
of year.
rolling.
You get to see family and friends, and yeah, it's great. I appreciate that, and yeah, it's just awesome to get some kids home from college and reconnect. That's always fun. When we get
Amen.
to this time of year. Yeah, that's part of it as well. But in terms of parting thoughts, let's see what we got here. That I had. Okay. Here's one. We've kind of alluded to it in the past, but the AI, the robots are coming potentially in Major League Baseball.
Oh,
They are on a ball strike system where you could challenge a missed call or a bad call between a ball and a strike, and they're saying that it could be used in regular season baseball by 2026. So
sweet.
it seems each team will get 2 challenges, and that could be a game changer, and it would definitely add more time into games, which I don't think is what Major League Baseball
It
wants
doesn't.
entirely.
It adds
But
very
I think
little
it kind of makes up for it with, there have been some calls that from time to time there.
I think it, based on what I've seen from the minor leagues, the challenge system is great to me. It doesn't really add much to the time at all because you only get 2 challenges each, and it's just like when they challenge a line call
and
in
it's automated,
tennis.
so that's true.
So it
That's true
happens
because
instantaneously.
it's true. It's like tennis where you get the. Yeah. No, I was saying it's like tennis where you just go to the monitor and it says it's automated with balls in or out, or if it's a ball and strike. So it actually it doesn't take much time because you're just looking at the robot and they'll say what the call is. So
I think it's wonderful.
It's more beneficial than not, in my opinion. Although
Yes.
I'm sure the
No more Aaron
baseball fans
Hernandez.
won't like it. There will be
Not Aaron Hernandez. Not Aaron Hernandez.
Angel. Sorry, Angel
That's
Hernandez.
the murderous
That's the
tight
wrong
end.
one. Wrong one. My bad.
No,
My
that's
bad. Wrong one. Wrong one. Don't quote me on that. Wrong one.
The wrong despicable Hernandez.
Well, I mean, we don't like either one.
Angel Hernandez.
Goodness.
Angels murdered a bunch of baseball games.
There's no doubt about that.
Aaron Hernandez.
Whoa.
Well, my parting thought, first of all, I love, Angel murdered so many at bats. True. Just killed him dead on the
You're
spot.
right, Kev.
Oh,
No doubt.
the worst. But my parting thought goes along with Max's a little bit. I'll shout out a family member as well. My eldest niece, the one who made me an uncle, Grace Knoll, going to make her collegiate wrestling debut Saturday at the Missouri Valley Open, wrestling for Baker, Kansas. So here's some small world stuff. So she wrestles for Baker, which happens to be the opponent of U Pike and Lee Kirkland tomorrow or Saturday in the first round of the playoffs. I went to look and see, is she going to be on campus? We might have a correspondent for that game. But when I went to look, I saw the women's wrestling schedule. They were at the Missouri Valley Open. So I checked, and she's in the bracket there at 110. And Missouri Valley is where my partner in crime at McCracken, head wrestling coach Jerry Robinson Haygood. That's where he wrestled, is Missouri Valley, where a bunch of guys from my hometown wrestled back in the day. So small world, all coming together here this weekend as far as Lowco Sports and Baker University, of all places, in Kansas. So pretty cool. Is she a face or a heel? She is a face for sure. Definitely not a heel. She's the sweetest little girl, but tough as nails. State runner-up in Kansas high school. So really tough. Proud of her. So anyway, with that, boys, I think we've done it. I think we've done a show. The Steelers they have given the ball back to the Browns. The Browns are down 1, 2-minute warning. So go watch some snowy football when we depart here. But we'll be back tomorrow night, 9:30 p.m. or thereabouts, as we get our bearings tomorrow night with everybody out on the road. But we'll keep you posted on what's happened on the Lowco sports scene, Lowco football scene with Lowco Pigskin Live. So thanks to everyone who was involved tonight, everybody in the comments, everybody watching or listening, all of you boys, of course, and to all of our sponsors, especially the OGs, Mickelson Law Firm. We appreciate the support, and we'd love to have more sponsors on board. So if you want to get with us, let us know, LowcoSports@gmail.com, or find us on the socials. Great job tonight, boys. Enjoyed the heck out of it. For Wes Kerr, Max Araj, and Marcus Walsh, I'm Justin Jarrett. Until next time, go Lowco.
The Lowco Sports Lowdown podcast is a production of Lowco Media LLC and LowcoSports.com, an independent media outlet providing grassroots local sports coverage in the South Carolina Lowcountry. We are sustained by community support from sponsors and patrons like you. Get in the game with a monthly pledge of $1 or more at patreon.com/LowcoSports to keep us going and growing. Go Lowco.